Podcast City Network. This is Brad Chandler, and you're listening to The Brad Chandler Show.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Brad Chandler Show. Well, with me today, I have Sean and Brett, members of the band. I'm probably going to fuck up the pronunciation of your band, Mordhau.
Yep, that'll do. Mordhau.
That'll do. We were kind of conversing a little bit on how to pronounce the name, and you guys were like, "Well, it's Mordhau, it's Mordhau, It's basically however you really want to pronounce it. So I appreciate you guys coming on here. You guys are from Nottingham, the UK.
Correct. Yeah.
You guys are the first band that I've had, or second band out of the United States that I've had on, and the first band from the UK.
Nice.
So I appreciate it, and thank you guys so much for coming on.
No, it's a pleasure.
So first, what I'd like to do is get a little bit of a background on your band, when you guys started, how it started, how you came up with the name, and things of that nature. So if I'll let you guys decide on who wants to start this one, Sean or Brett.
I'll do this one. Yeah, because long story short, Sean wasn't actually in the band at that point.
No, so I didn't join until October 2019.
Yeah.
So sorry, I'll put out, Brett. You carry on.
Basically, we had this promoter in Nottingham, Phil Corey, who runs Torturous Promotions. He often puts these gigs on, and they're always like really good turnout. People were just there talking, and people needed a band, and he basically pointed everyone in the right direction, and it all just came together like that, pretty much.
So wait, it was like somebody pointed you guys out and was like, that band. You guys should get together.
That guy needs a guitarist, that guy needs a vocalist, that guy needs that sort of thing.
So it wasn't like you put an ad out and you guys were just looking for people. Somebody just basically said, hey, you guys get together.
Yeah, I think it was a bit early days. There wasn't any advertising at all. It just kind of came together. It was absolutely unusual. But then our guitarist had to leave and stuff, and that's when Sean came in. Sorry, I can't get everyone's names wrong now. Bloody hell.
So Sean, you came in 2019. Now, when did you guys actually start?
I think we started gigging around 2017. I think it was when it started to really pick up and that.
And did you have any? Now, obviously, you'd had some type of band experience before that. Did you know the other members in the band?
Briefly, from speaking to one or two of them a couple of times, and that is about it. Pretty much. I knew the vocalist, but that was about it, really. It was all friends of friends sort of thing. So
it was acquaintances, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it just kind of came together really well, and it was really natural as well. There was no forcing it at all.
That's good. That's good to know that there was no force, because you don't want to be in a band with somebody you're not going to get along with.
Well, not just that. It was just even the way how we wrote the stuff together and stuff. It just kind of gelled naturally. It was really organic. That's the word.
There you go. So your other guitarist ended up leaving. Sean ended up joining the band. How did that come about? Obviously, the guitarist left, but how did you find
Rich?
Sean?
Well, Rich was one who actually came up with the band name as well, I think. And well, his hobbies is into history and stuff like that, but also he was into skiing and snowboarding, that sort of thing, and he was teaching it abroad.
Yep.
So yeah, unfortunately, like life got in the way and things because he got offered his dream job, so he went for it, as you should do.
So I was looking a little through, looking up a little bit about you guys, and I came across your Bandcamp. And it said featuring members of King of Pigs and Army of Walking Corpses.
Yeah, that's Jamie the guitarist. He's in King of Pigs.
Okay.
And Nick, well, and Jamie was also in Army of Walking Corpses. So it was their separate projects. I mean, it used to also say featuring members of Narayana as well, but that was when Rich was in the band.
Okay, so do you guys still have other projects that you do outside of Mordhau?
Well, not so much me, but Jamie does.
Yeah, Jamie's in a new band, isn't he, called Borstal now?
Yeah, they're doing some good stuff.
Yeah, they've got some pretty high-profile members of that band, which have just joined forces. That's brand new. So yeah, they're releasing stuff imminently. So
great band, though.
We'll have to get in contact with them.
Yeah, definitely. They're hardcore. So yeah, they're a hardcore metal band.
I'm into just about anything. You give me a type of music, I'll listen to it except country. Nobody wants to listen to Yeehaw and Slap My Banjo and whatnot. So, Sean, were you doing a project before you joined the guys in Mordhau, or were you just like sitting around playing a little bit of guitar on your own?
No, so I've been in bands as well. I was in a couple of bands a few years ago. I was in a band called As the Sky Burns. I was in another death metal band called Whispering Vault, and those guys basically parted ways for several reasons, as bands do. And I was kind of just moping around basically. Got loads of riffs, loads of experience of being in bands, loads of gear, loads of guitars. Been playing since I was 12 years old or whatever. And it was actually a friend of mine that I was in a band with a few years back called Bill Richmond. Now he's a bass player in another death metal band from Nottingham called Pemphigoid. Been really good friends with Bill for years and years, and he basically said, he just messaged me out of the blue and said, there's this band called Mordhau that you need to audition for. They've just lost their guitarist. Get in touch with this guy, send him some of your riffs, you'll fit right in. And literally that's what I did. I think I'd had a few beers on a Sunday afternoon or something daft, and I just basically jammed a load of stuff down my phone and sent it to Jamie. And then Jamie ran it past Brett and the other guys, and Jamie just said, can you come down to the rehearsal studio on the following Wednesday? Didn't tell me anything of it, but in the meantime, I think I learned a couple of songs. I think I learned Mother Wrath and Where Sunlight Goes to Die, and basically turned up and we jammed those songs. And then I don't remember there being much else other than, can you come again next Wednesday? And that was it. And I've been here ever since, pretty much. But it kind of happened really quick. Well, from 2019 up until January 2020, things were just starting to snowball for us, really, weren't they, Brett? It was,
I felt sorry for you.
It was a bit shit, really. But I joined in October 2019. By the end of November, I'd learnt the set. We'd done our first gig in Nottingham at the Old Angel, which is a great place for bands just in general in the UK, especially metal bands. And we basically did that gig, laid it to rest for a bit because Christmas was coming up, the holidays, and then we went into the studio in January 2020 to record the album, our debut album, which is completely self-funded. So we'd got gigs lined up all the way through 2020 pretty much. I think by the time we got halfway through January 2020, we'd got at least 8 or 9 gigs across the year already booked before the year was ended out. And I'd literally been in the band about 3 months, and it was I thought, God, this is going to be a full-time job if I'm not careful. The rate that gigs were coming out as it was, it was getting pretty busy. And then obviously we know what happened in in March 2020, it all went to pop. So yeah.
That was actually going to end up being my next question there. It seemed as though that you ended up joining the band in October, and like you said, everything just started snowballing. It seems like you guys were in a real good place. You guys were getting everything going. You have this album that you have completely self-funded, and then March comes around and fucking COVID hits.
Yeah.
And so let's talk a little bit about how COVID impacted what you guys had planned for the 2020 year.
Oh, well, I just remember, like, as we was recording the album, we'd go out for a smoke break every once in a while, and people was looking on the phones and stuff, and people were seeing like this thing that was happening, and it was like coming in from China sort of thing. People were collapsing. And even then, we were still kind of in that denial phase, like, oh, it's never going to come here, though, is it?
Yep.
You know? And before you know it, it was here.
Yeah. But, luckily we'd managed to record the album before that. We spent like 5 weeks in January and we managed to get the album, all of our bits done. So, I mean, we were quite grateful at that, to be fair, because we were very, very close to, if we look back in hindsight, we could have been like, halfway through recording an album and then us being completely locked down back in March. So yeah, we managed to get that album done, which, without that, we would definitely be in a different place now. So
yeah, it was fortunate that we managed to get it done in as little time as we did,
Absolutely, yeah.
So with the whole COVID situation and the fact that you guys ended up getting this, was it Immaculate Massacre? Is that the one that you're talking about?
Yeah. So okay. Immaculate Massacre is the album,
which you can find on Spotify and Apple. There's a plug for you guys. And so, how long did that ended up taking you? 5 weeks altogether?
It was something like that. We did it over weekends because we all work. We've all got jobs. We've all got a life, and we just did it over like I think it was just like 5 weekends or something. Okay. We recorded it at Moot Group Studios in Nottingham, which is Johnny Carter's studio. So the founding member of Pitch Shifter. So his studio there. We recorded it in Nottingham.
Wait, Pitch Shifter, huh?
Yeah. So the founding member, Johnny.
That was one of the very first bands I ever saw live.
Yeah. So
nice.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, but Johnny's got his own studio, Moot Group Studio in Nottingham, and he's a good friend of Nick's, the drummer. And he basically said, come record your album with me, and he recorded it, produced it, mastered it, everything. So yeah, did it in 5
knows
weekends,
what he's doing.
So. Absolutely, yeah. The guy's an absolute, genius and a legend, obviously, in his own right.
I've listened to a few songs off I believe I found it on YouTube, and I like it. Because if I didn't like it, I wouldn't have asked you guys to come on. The one song that I really enjoyed the most, what was it? It was the one that we're playing later today. Is the Temporal Insanity song. It's pretty. It's got a slow start to the beginning of it, and then it gets like into it. So I love the screaming in there as well.
Yeah. So Matty, the vocalist, he's definitely a screamer.
Gonna end up blowing out his vocal cords at one of these shows, huh? So obviously,
I've never seen him blow his voice.
No, I was going to say he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't blow his voice even in rehearsals. He rarely. I don't think I've ever heard him. Yeah.
I was just joking. I did vocals as well myself, and I've never blown a vocal cord. So now, what instruments do you two play?
I play guitar.
Oh
yeah, I play bass.
There was like a long delay there. I was like, does he know that we're waiting on him?
No, sorry. No, the phone's actually froze. To be fair, I can't really see a lot of what's going on.
It's not a problem.
But
Man.
it's all right. I can hear you.
And don't worry about it. So, what are some of your what are some of the bands that you listened to growing up? Some of the bands that you got your inspiration from.
I'll let you go first, Brett.
Yeah, I was just about to say I'll go with you first, Brett.
Oh well, honestly, I'd say early days, it was probably things like your typical your big four thrash metal bands, and then you've got it was a lot of new metal bands actually made a big influence on me in the early days. But obviously, I've grown out of all that now. But yeah, I'd say System of a Down was a huge influence early on. But that's also with all that sort of way of thinking. Carcass is always a classic. Bloodbath, obviously. You know what? There's too many to mention, really. I mean, you know what? I wish I made an actual list earlier, but then again, I've been here for about 15 minutes.
You got your Metallica, your Slayer, your Megadeth,
yeah,
Anthrax, Carcass. You said new metal bands. I'm going to throw Slipknot out there, probably.
Oh, Slipknot's like a big influence on everyone, really. I mean, a lot of people don't really like to admit it, but it's true. I mean,
I have a Slipknot tattoo, so I'll admit it.
Oh, nice.
So,
no, I wasn't that into them.
What about you, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same. I mean, I'm a little bit older than Brett, so I was into. I mean, Metallica pretty much got me into playing guitar to begin with, and then as I got older, I started to get into the heavier stuff. So very early Carcass for me, Symphonies of Sickness, Necroticism, those sort of albums, Heartwork, obviously in the 90s, and then as I got further into it, I started to look at the Swedish death metal side as well. Entombed, Dismember, and I'm a massive The Haunted fan as well. I absolutely love The Haunted, and then my kind of style of playing sort of reflects that as well. So yeah, it started off with the thrash metal, the traditional, the big, what they now call the big four. But yeah, I ended up getting into the Swedish side of it, more like the melodic death metal as well. So yeah, that's where I kind of ended up, and hence why we're in this Swedish death metal band influence band now.
Yeah, I saw it said Swedish death metal, and then that's all I saw at first. I didn't see the inspired part. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have another Swedish death metal, Swedish metal band on. Then I looked at it again, and I was like, nope. They're Swedish death metal inspired band. Hey, you know what? In all honesty, over here in America, a lot of the bands take a lot of what the Swedes do. And it seems like their music is just influenced, like a lot of the metal nowadays, especially, are influenced by Swedish metal.
Yeah, definitely.
Regardless if it's like The Haunted or anybody else, but you hear The Haunted, At the Gates, and those types of bands, and Flames and stuff like that. So much of their stuff over there influences music throughout the world, and it's just incredible.
I was going to say, in America, I know you've got like your own scene of it emerging over there now, like with bands like Tomb Mold and Gatecreeper and stuff like that, which is pretty cool.
The one band that really started got me into kind of like the Swedish metal is the Black Dahlia Murder.
Yeah, they're an ace band. Really good.
They're an amazing band. They're actually one of my favorite bands to listen to. And once I found them, I was just like, then I started kind of going out and looking at other bands that sounded similar. And that's one thing that I do as a person who likes music. So I listen to all styles of music, but I'm very big into like death metal, grind, hardcore, stuff like that. So if I hear one band that sounds like something I'm going to like, then I'm going to, and I see something else that's similar to that, I'm going to listen to that too. Like I've gone through Twitter in the past like couple weeks, and I found a shit ton of brutal Japanese death metal bands. I have no fucking clue what they're saying.
Yeah.
But the music is just fucking brutal.
Yeah, it's funny you should
send me a
mention.
link.
Yeah, I was going to say I did the same. Funny enough, I did the same thing about a month ago, and you know, before you even got in contact with us, I'd already done the same on Twitter and done exactly the same as you've done. And there are some absolutely astounding bands coming out of Japan.
There's some bands out of Japan. There's a band that I found out of Uruguay. I sent them a message, and they had no idea what the fuck I was saying, because no offense to them, they were fantastic. They speak Spanish, so the only way that I could talk to them is through like a translator on Google. And
right.
The name of the band is Nerium. And they only have one song that's out, and I was just like, holy fucking shit, guys. And that's basically what I do, is I'll go through, you got your YouTube, you got your Twitters, you got your Facebook and stuff like that. I'll go through all that shit, and I'll check out bands and whatnot. And that's how I came across you guys, is I ended up coming across your Twitter page. I liked somebody else's page, and you guys came up as a suggestion. I took a look at it. I saw a link. I clicked on it, and I listened to you guys, and I was like, okay, I like this. So that's what I do, is I'll go through, and if I find somebody that I like or whatnot, I reach out to them. So
nice. I was going to say I spend most of my time doing that, really, but I don't even do a podcast. So
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
No, I do that a lot of the time, but I don't even have a podcast or anything. I just go around listening to obscure things and things I've never heard of, really.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I actually kind of miss MySpace for, because back in the day when MySpace was the thing, I thought it was a real good social media outlet for bands.
Yeah.
And it was, I had my own little thing that is similar to this, where I was going out and I was talking to bands all over the place, and it was fun. I was reaching out to bands out in the Netherlands, all over the world. I had bands reaching out to me, and it was fun. It was just fun talking to different people and different bands. And it, like I said, it'll end up getting you to listen to different types of music.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's one of the things that I like about social media. It's unfortunate that the only way to listen to music on social media nowadays is through YouTube. And it's not like MySpace back in the day when they had their own little MySpace player. So enough of that. I want to get into some gear, actually. And so I'm actually a musician. At the beginning and the intro, there was a picture of me, my logo, with me playing my 7-string ESP LTD. What type of gear do you guys use? Brett, I'm going to start off with you.
Oh, shit. Put me on the spot. I've got you know what? It's been that fucking long. We have to have a look.
I do not know what fucking...
Yes, it is that fucking bad. I've neglected my bass since this whole lockdown shit.
You're actually getting it out of his case. That's ace.
Yeah, if I'm getting it out its case. What do you for the camera, haven't you?
You better watch all those moths flying. Look, you got moths flying out of it.
On the fucking spot.
This thing. It was
What kind of bass is that?
it's a Dean Spire 4-string. To be honest, I picked this up on a site and it was broke. And yeah, I got it repaired and that was it. Fell in love with it. That was pretty much it. But then again, I didn't really fall in love enough with her to remember her name. So
that was probably the best fucking response I've ever gotten. What other gear do you use? What are your amps?
Oh, Laney. Oh, through and through.
That's it?
Not the best, but it does a good job. It does what it says on the tin, I'm going to Yeah, I think I'm going to go invest in PV next, though. Get some proper, decent stack, you know.
There you go. And are you a finger player or do you play with a pick?
It depends on however I'm feeling on the day, if I'm honest.
If I want to finger her, she's going to get fingered. If I want to pick her, she's getting picked.
Yeah,
like
for it like
All right, Sean. And what about you?
I've got a few guitars. At the moment, I'm playing a. What I use? No,
I come up and go look at them.
No, I don't. I've opened my guitar cases a few times since lockdown. So, I used an LTD, basically a Kirk Hammett signature model. I can't remember what version it is now. I think it's the 601. Either way, it's his signature LTD. So EMG's 81 and 85. Use a Marshall valve state head, and then obviously for the distortion, I use a iMaster through a M2 pedal to as an EQ to boost the overall tone. So yeah, that's pretty much my.
What do you use for a cab?
Marshall, just a Marshall cab. So I've got a valve
cab, huh?
Yeah, valve state Marshall head and just a Marshall 12 before cab.
That's nice. I had a Orange Crush that my old guitarist sold me for like $300. I was like, I don't really want it. I got that, and then I have like a Crate 4x12 that I've had since I was like 20.
Yeah,
that I refuse to get rid of. And
they're indestructible, though, aren't they? A crate. They're just like you can throw the things around and they're just.
I had my very first head was a Crate Shockwave, and it was a solid state. And I bought it because I was trying out for a band, and I had no gear, and I needed to find something that sounded that had heavy gain on it. And I found this head. And I was like, oh, man, I sound like Metallica, you know? So I picked it up. I picked up the cab, and I went and tried out. I was in the band. The head ended up shitting the bed, and then I ended up getting a Crate Blue Voodoo, which was probably the best thing that I've had. But I refused to, like, change the tubes out, so it sounded like shit. I never liked tubes because I'm too lazy to go get them fixed. You know what I mean? I don't want to. A solid state, all you got to do is just turn the fucker on. A tube, you got to let it warm up. You got to change the tubes every so often. It's just obnoxious to me. And do you use anything fancy like a Floyd?
Yeah, I've got a Floyd on the LTD, and also on I just bought a BC Rich last year as well, which I rescued it from a secondhand store because it was broken. But yeah, I've got a Floyd Rose on that and on the LTD as well. So yeah, you'll hear on the. Although I don't do them, Jamie, the guitarist, he does a lot of dive bombing on the album. I'm sure you've heard all the way through it, and yeah, he uses that thing like he's ripping the thing off the guitar when he's doing it. But yeah, we both got Floyds.
I have my ex-guitarist was a huge dive bomb guy. He would sit there and he would just whammy like so hard on that fucking thing, and it's just holding the guitar with one hand, pulling on it, and it's like, dude. Yeah, one of these days I'm gonna laugh when you just like
rack it off.
Yeah, no, definitely, it would be funny as hell. So, what can we expect from you guys once the whole COVID restriction comes off?
Another recording, definitely.
You up?
Another recording for sure.
You guys working on new material?
I think we're always working on riffs at home and stuff like that, and bits and bobs, you know. So it's been so long now. So I feel like.
Have you guys been able to actually practice as a full band?
No. The lockdown restrictions. Yeah, September was the last time we rehearsed, wasn't it? September last year. And that wasn't even as a full band. So yeah.
So when you say the lockdown, like they literally, you're not allowed to leave your place.
No. Well, you can for essential things, so like shopping and whatever, but we couldn't get together as a full band at all. We managed it once in September when they kind of lifted the lockdown for a few weeks, and we managed to get together. 4 of us managed to get together. But in that one rehearsal, we managed to virtually write a whole song, which I found bizarre, which we kind of recorded, a rough kind of recording of it. So yeah, I mean, like Brett says, we have got a lot of material already written, and we're all, I'm still jamming at home, and I know Jamie is, and I know Brett is as well. So when we come out again, we're going to have stacks of stuff to go through.
And also get a load of new merch done.
Yeah. You guys have merch. Go ahead and give a plug out for that stuff.
Well, we haven't yet.
No, not yet.
You don't have it. Okay.
Yeah, we're still in the process of getting that sorted at the moment. But yeah.
So just a quick question, and this isn't actually music related. I just, as a human being, are you guys like working, or are you guys just all staying home?
I'm not doing it a minute, really.
I'd fucking go crazy if I had to sit in my house all day, every day.
Yeah, it is driving people insane.
Yeah, that's Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Yeah,
I have literally completed Xbox.
Not just one game, the whole system.
Feels like it.
He's also done the internet as well, haven't you, Brett?
Oh yeah, that's it.
How do you guys like communicate with each other? Is it just like telecommunicate, like telephone and the internet? You guys like talk to each other, play riffs to each other and shit like that, or you guys haven't really done any of that?
It's mostly Messenger, but I was going to say in November, November, that goes to show how long ago it was as well, really. It seems like it was so close, but yeah, I went to go meet the vocalist for a bit, and we went for a walk, but apart from that, there's not a lot you can really do at the moment. Not without getting stopped by police, anyway.
It's that bad?
Well, they just like to be like, hello, what you doing? Where you going?
Oh, Jesus Christ, man. Here it's like as long as you got a fucking mask on, nobody bothers you.
Yeah, that'd be ideal.
Yeah, that'd be nice. No.
Again, if that was the case, I'd wear a mask all the time.
So guys, we're gonna call this an episode. I appreciate you guys coming on. If you have anything else that you would like to plug or anything, I know you guys are on YouTube. I know you guys are on Bandcamp. Where else can everybody find you?
Just the usual places, really, isn't it? It's Twitter, Bandcamp, Facebook, Instagram. We're on all the main ones. But something I think what we can share with you at the moment is we'll give you a bit of an exclusive, because we haven't actually announced this yet. But we're actually picked up by an indie label in New Jersey in December.
What is the name of that label?
Sunshine Ward Recordings.
Sunshine what?
Sunshine Ward Recordings.
Ward?
And it's a guy in New Jersey.
Okay.
And he approached us back in December, and he heard the album, heard Immaculate Massacre, and decided that he would like to put a cassette out for us.
You guys are going to put a cassette out?
So we're putting a cassette out, yeah. And it will be exclusive to the American market as well.
I will be picking that up.
So it's not being released anywhere else apart from the States. That is due to, it's just gone to print actually. We saw him with the test recording on cassette beginning of this week actually. So they should be going to print as of now and hopefully being released in April. But they will be on his website exclusively through Jesse at Sunshine Ward Recordings.
I'll definitely have to check that out and see if are they on Twitter and Facebook?
Yeah, all over he's on the usual outlets as well. Instagram, Facebook. You can pick him up.
I'll definitely have to reach out to them. So Sean, Brett, thank you so much for joining me today. It's now 7:00 p.m. your time. It's 2:00 p.m. my time. Appreciate it, guys. You guys have been wonderful.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
thanks.
We'll definitely have to do this again sometime. Maybe once we can get everybody involved in it.
Definitely, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, good.
To everybody out there, we will be listening to A Temporal Insanity by the band Mordhau.
Nice choice.